Is you recording?
Yes. Stop. Don't stop it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a highly requested video. I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I got involved in modeling and just some tips and tricks that I've learned the past year. A lot of people have messaged me or asked me in person exactly how I got involved in the modeling industry, and so I just thought it would be an awesome idea to share that with you guys. So I guess I have been really interested in modeling the majority of my life. I've always been a super shy person, so I think that really stopped me from actually pursuing that. I cannot tell you how many times I've had like my family members or friends or random people just be like, you know, you really should do modeling. Just because of like my hair and like my look and my size. I guess people just have always told me that, and I've always just ignored them. It just seemed too big of a dream to actually pursue. So my husband took some pictures from our wedding, and he sent them to different modeling agencies in the Kansas City area. So we sent in a bunch of them, and the agency that I'm now signed to, they emailed us back and they were like, come in and we can just sit down and have an interview and talk about where we would go from here and all of that. So we went to Kansas City and we sat down and talked with the New Faces director, and she was super sweet and super encouraging and really encouraged me to pursue modeling. This was like 2 years ago. So January 2017, that's when she told me about the different courses that they offered to help you, you know, get to know and understand the modeling industry and to prepare you for it. They were pretty expensive, so we didn't really think too much into it, and I'm just so shy. I just was like, no, like, I'm not doing this. So the entire year of 2017 has slowly been going by. Modeling is still in the back of my head. I never thought I was gonna actually do anything about it. And I continue to get emails from the New Faces director telling me about like when different classes were starting. And the next class started in January of 2018. I was very hesitant again just because I'm so shy and they were expensive, and I didn't want to take that leap to start. I'm so sorry guys, this hair is really stressing me out right now. I gotta do something with this. Please don't cut my hair. Paxton! Much better. That was a workout. So back to what I was saying. The classes started in January of 2018. I was still hesitant because I didn't want to spend the money and I didn't want to make the commitment. But we finally just decided to go for it. We'd been on a mission trip to Haiti, and I remember the day I got back was the day that I was supposed to start my first class. And I was like, no, I am not going to this class. But I'm glad I went because it's turned out really well. Long story short, I ended up loving the classes. Each class basically taught you something, it taught you something new about modeling. There was one class about like skincare, walking the runway. I really had no idea how much goes into modeling. Since this all began a year ago, I've had quite a few opportunities, and I've just really grown as a person. I give modeling a lot of that credit because it's taught me a lot about myself. So I kind of made a list of different things that I've learned this past year through the modeling industry, and I thought I would share those with you. The first thing I wanted to touch on is that it's not going to happen overnight, and I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about modeling. It's funny because one of the first questions people ask me are like, how much money have you made? Like, how much was that, or how much did this cost? And to be completely honest, so far I've spent more than I've made. I've had so many people ask me like how much I got paid for this shoot or that shoot, and a lot of shoots aren't paid. When you're first starting, or even when you've been modeling forever, trade shoots are a big part of it. A trade shoot is basically where you trade your talent, modeling, for the photographer's talent of taking your photos. So basically it's like a win-win situation because they get your photos to use for their portfolio, and then you get photos of yourself for your portfolio. However, there are shoots where you're paid, which are really awesome, and the ones that you do get paid for generally are really well paying. But basically, if you're going into modeling just to like think you're gonna make it big overnight and make a bunch of money, that's not the mindset to have. There's so much more to it, and I think people they don't see the bigger picture. Another thing is, because there's so many people in the industry, it's definitely something you have to be very patient about. I kind of mentioned that already, but you can go months without hearing about a job, and then all of a sudden you get like 3 different emails asking if you're available to go to a casting, or if you're available, if you'd be available for a shoot. It really is a waiting game. I'm a believer that everybody gets their time to shine. It's something you have to be in for the long haul. Another thing is that practice is key. There's so many different aspects that come into modeling, and that's why if there is a modeling school in your area, I highly suggest you take courses. You're only going to be as good as your fundamentals. That's applicable to anything, and that definitely comes into play in modeling 100%. For example, a year ago, I had no idea what a hesitation was. I thought I knew how to walk down a runway, but it turns out I had no idea. Photo movement was horrible. I didn't know what I was doing in front of the camera. There's just so many different aspects. There's so many different tiny pieces that if you don't know, then you're just a big mess, basically. My agency has taught me how to prepare for a shoot, or what to wear if I'm going to a casting. They just teach you all of the things you need to know in order to be successful. So I would highly recommend that. Just like you would practice a sport, you gotta practice everything when it comes to modeling. You have to be in front of the camera to get comfortable. Basically what I'm saying is, if you don't practice, you're not gonna be successful. Another really important thing that I've learned is having a good attitude and being professional is so important. I worked with a girl and she was complaining the entire time about like how she didn't like how her makeup looked. She didn't like the clothes they were making her wear. I was just getting so uncomfortable the whole time, because that's like an extreme no-no. When you are modeling, whether it's somebody else's clothes or for their photo shoot, you love what you're wearing. You think your makeup is on point. Like you strut your stuff. You wear that ugly outfit as well as you can wear it. And if you don't like it, you make sure that they don't know you don't like it. People think that like as a model that you think you're all that and like everything's about you, and it's really not about that. You're representing whatever brand you're wearing, or you're molding yourself to look like art basically for a photographer. It's really not about the person. It's about how you carry yourself and how you model their product. So yeah, just being professional and being positive when you're interacting with other models, other photographers, just anybody really, especially if you're signed to an agency, because you're not only representing yourself, but you're representing that agency. So just being a positive person in general, it just goes a long way, because you just look like a happier person. The modeling industry is an industry that a lot of people want to be a part of, and there's a lot of misconception that you have to look a certain way to be a part of the modeling industry, but that's completely false. You can be any size, shape, color, whatever. I've met so many different models from so many different backgrounds and have so many different looks. Everybody has a place in the modeling world if you just put the time and the effort and the drive into improving yourself and putting yourself out there, and just being a confident person and knowing that you have something to bring to the table. Just being a part of the modeling community in my area has brought me so many friends and just encouraged me to try new things and get out of my comfort zone, which is a huge thing for me. I've always wanted to stay in my little bubble. A year ago, I never guessed that I would have been on the cover of a magazine or done shoots with the photographers that I've shot with. I've just had so many awesome opportunities, and it never would have been possible had I decided to stay in my comfort zone and not take that leap and just go for it. If you have any other questions that I didn't answer in this video about modeling, or you want to know more about modeling, comment below what you want to know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.